everybody, welcome back to I think day 40 of this RV bedroom makeover remodel. Glad you're joining us again. If this is your first time to join us, there's a link in the description of this video that will take you to our full playlist so you can watch every day if you'd like leading up to today. We are getting close to being finished. I keep saying that, but I'm feeling it now. I've painted part of the carpet, and today I just felt of it. It doesn't feel bad at all. And I'm actually going to do a little bit of fluffing up with the bristle brush, and then I'm going to vacuum it. And then I'm going to move my furniture into place on top of this part that I've already painted. And another thing I want to do is use the Scotch Guard on the ottoman that I painted. I noticed that it doesn't come off on your hands when you rub it, but when I took a white paper towel and rubbed across it, it did pick up like a powdery blue of the paint, and we don't want that on our clothes. So I bought some waterproofing Scotch Guard. I'm going to spray that on the ottoman and let that dry, and then tomorrow we'll see if that keeps that from happening, which will be a really good thing. And then if so, then we'll end up also spraying that on the chairs. And so let's go ahead and get started. Maybe I can even get far enough tonight I can get a little bit more painted on the carpet. So we'll see. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is pull up all this plastic and tape that, oh my goodness, that pulled the wood right off of that baseboard that's underneath the bed. It was brown, and I put tape on it to keep it from getting the gray paint on, and I just peeled off some very thin fake laminate. Well, laminate's fake anyway though, isn't it? Anyway, oh well, I'll have to do something about that another day. It's not going to be part of this project, but I will eventually go down there and paint it gray or something. Maybe paint it with the same color as the rest of the cabinetry. Probably the smart thing to do. But let's go ahead and get all this plastic up and out of the way. We don't need that anymore. I did a good job of keeping the gray carpet paint from getting on my walls. If you all would like to get a link to this roll of plastic that I used, just put a comment and ask for it, and I will send you a safe add link to that. It comes with tape along the bottom already on the plastic, and then the plastic, if you unfold it, is that tall, so you can use it to tape off a good area, keep it from getting backsplash of paint or whatever you're working on. All right. My bristle brush here. I'm gonna fluff things up. Carpet's looking really good. Probably not as thorough a job as I will do in the rest of the camper. This is going to be underneath the chairs and not really visible along the edges. So I'm all for cutting corners. It's probably is offensive to some of you that are perfectionists and do everything right. But anyway, and I still forgot to put find the other part of this broom to make it longer. I gotta find that. The back breaker bending over like that. All right, so let's get a little bit of vacuuming done right quick. This camper actually came with a whole house vacuum system that works great, but the tubing for it has sprung a tiny leak somewhere in it, and when you turn it on and stretch it all the way down here to the bedroom, it lets out the most shrill, horrible sound that would hurt. It hurts your ears. So I got to try to figure out how to get that patched up. And also, I lent my shop vac out to a family member, and they lost all my little attachments, so I'm gonna have to be bending over to do this. Here we go. I just made a decision to make a change. I'm not going to worry about vacuuming it right now because this is too small of an attachment. That'll take me forever vacuuming such small sections. So I will vacuum another day after I get some more attachments. I'll get a different vacuum out here. Okay, that's all right. So I think we're ready to move the chairs over here in this finished area. Let's see how I'm going to do this. Let me put this back here for now. Now, if you're just joining us, these chairs and ottoman, they were kind of a yellowish, goldish color, and I painted them to match my color schemes. The color schemes are from a new comforter and set that I bought along with curtains. Tell you what, I need to put that grate back down back here. Look at that. Ha! I knew I would see spots that I missed. I'm definitely going to have to do some painting on this. That's alright. I was thinking about putting one more thin coat of paint on the whole seating area to give it a more uniform look. So I've definitely got to do that. I figured there would be spots that I would see. Move the camera to another area. Yep, seeing on the front of this chair. Are you all seeing that? Look at that. On the front of that chair, there's places that gotta be repainted. Am I ever gonna get through with this project? Alright. I would love y'all's word of encouragement. I'm really ready to be done. Alright. Alright, so something that I do want to go ahead and do is spray some Scotch Guard on one of these ottomans. Let's see if that will stop the dusting off of the paint. Alright folks, just doing a light spray of this on the top, and we'll see if that keeps it. I don't know if you can see on that, I showed you on that paper towel, it's just a tiny bit of pale blue powder on it. And I had to rub it to get it come off less than this time than it did last time. So anyway, we'll see if that will keep that from happening after we get that sprayed on there like that. Got the other one out here in the hallway. I'm going to spray it out there. Alright, so I had thought about putting some more paint on the chairs, but I think I'm going to wait and do that tomorrow. And I'm going to go ahead and work some more on painting the carpet. Okay. Remember my rug that I first used to do tests on for the paint? I'm going to put that down here to put my paint roller and bucket and stuff on. In fact, I think I'll do it like this to kind of protect my chair and the wall, maybe. That back there. That back there. All right. Now, this end part of the bed down here, I did not tape off, so I still need to do that. That's the only part that I didn't get around to taping off. So let's go ahead and do that first. Alright, and then let's tape that up higher. Okay, so I've got a little bit of paint in here. I'm going to go ahead and add some more into it to mix up. Y'all remember at one point I was doing 4 parts water, but then I went back down to 3 parts water. So 1 scoop of paint, 1 scoop of fabric softener, and 3 scoops or cups, whatever I'm using, of water. Okay. Start with the water this time. First thing I came to. One, 2, and 3. Water. And I have decided I'm liking the looks of this gray carpet so much better than the beige that's on here, that I am definitely going to do this in the living room area of this camper. All right, 1 part fabric softener. Okay, so we get to the paint. Gotta get a little scooper. All right, just using this to scoop up this little cup full. Almost there. Okay, pour that into my pitcher. Then this is going to be enough paint that I've mixed up to do the whole rest of the rug. We'll see. Maybe not. And we're mixing. quite as watery as it was with 4 parts water. Okay, so unwisely I was thinking I was going to mix it up over here, but I'm going to be painting backwards, so I've got to bring all this back in this corner back here. I don't want to be walking back across it to get more paint. Seeing I'm missing part of my bristle brush handle. That's going to be helpful. Alright. Y'all know I'm cheap. I want to buy a new roller for each day, so wrap this up with plastic wrap to keep it nice and wet and ready for the next day. Now y'all, there is a ledge right here underneath my wardrobe that I will have to come back. Oh, I don't know. I suppose I should do it as I go along instead of coming back and doing it later. I was just trying to avoid getting down on the floor, but I think I better go ahead. Do this whole area with this little sponge. See that? Y'all, we just today made our first reservation for summer of 2026. Kind of behind the game this time on scheduling. Just hadn't had a lot of extra funds, but I'm excited about that trip, and even going to take off a whole week of vacation from a full-time job to enjoy it. So glad we got that scheduled. We'll go about the halfway mark and stop there. Okay, that's enough with the brush for right now. Maybe with this sponge brush. Would you call this a brush? Paint brushes seem to have a bristles or something. paint sponge with a handle. I don't know. I think I'm getting tired here. All right. Let's continue on with the rolling. Right, I'm gonna kind of rub all that in with this sponge. have a feeling that just like I did for this other section, I'll probably end up doing a second coat on this carpet. I just want to be cautious about how saturated I get it with liquid to get it as saturated as I want it with color. Because it's not good for carpet to be so saturated with liquid. So I'm sure I'll be doing another coat tomorrow on the same section. Alright, so I need to probably use the brush against the edge of the bed too. Get my sponge back out. Gotta be careful that I don't kneel down in that paint. And let's use my sponge, mop again. And the bristle. You can definitely see the line where the dried paint is. It does dry up darker, but I also think I'll have to do a second coat on this area. And I'm just hopeful that it'll all blend in once I get to that point. Okay, I think I'm going to do a little bit more before I stop. I want to use up the rest of this paint. So let me do just a little bit more. I still didn't put that extra handle on there, y'all. That's a little bit crazy. Let's go ahead and put it on there right now. That's going to make it easier. Easier on my back. I'm short, but not that short. Alright, let's see here what I can do. Put that there. Alright. Okay, let's make sure I got my stuff down here that I've got to get out of here with. Got my keys in my pocket. Yeah. Alright. Get the on. Make sure you're still seeing what I'm doing. Whoa. A little indention right there. I know I'll have to get that with the brush. Oh. Go all the way down to the end of the bed over here. All right. get a little bit more of this painting done. Have to keep pushing that thing back on there. I'll paint until the paint runs out of this tray. Still got more in the bucket. Definitely be going over this a second time. Get the rest of this paint out of this tray. Okay, I'll be wrapping that back up with plastic like I did before, so I can reuse it. Let's do the bristle brush. And then let's do the sponge brush. And I'll work it down into the fibers. The sponge bristle brush again. Okay, so all right, folks. Now what I've got to do is, it's so odd that looking through this camera, it looks like I see light patches. I don't see that with the naked eye. But let me plug this back in or I'm going to lose electricity on this camera. Didn't have it charged up. Okay, so folks, I am going to call it a day. I'm going to set the fan up so it will be drying on this carpet overnight. Tomorrow night I'll put a second coat on that, and I may finish up with the chairs. The paint that needs to go on there, I would do that before I put the second coat on here. I couldn't get to it otherwise. And then hopefully finish up painting the rest of the carpet, the first coat, and then the next day the next coat. Whew. And then I think I'll be ready to do the final little touch-ups. Got to scrape some paint off some glass. I'm not sure. I'll find other stuff that I need to touch up. But then put my new comforter on and my new window, my new curtains up, and show it all to Ricky. Get his reaction to it. Looking forward to all that. Thank you all for joining us again. Be sure and give us a thumbs up and the like button and subscribe and follow, all that good stuff. And we will see you tomorrow.